Today is Friday, March 22nd. Here's a little taste of what's coming up on the mayor's office. I can end with one really great Norm Macdonald joke, but it's a fact. And Norm Macdonald was a huge gambler, okay? Says,
yeah.
So it's this guy's a gambler, and he's talking to his buddy. So I'm a gambler. I'm talking to you, and I'm like, man, I really took a bath today, man. I played a bet on the NBA game. I lost $150, and then I bet on all the college games. I lost $500. And then there was a tennis match, and I could have swore this guy was gonna win. I lost thousands of dollars. And the other guy goes, well, there's a hockey game tonight. And he goes, I don't know anything about hockey. Right?
And I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top and keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life, good life. Oh, good life, good life. Good life, hey.
Boom, coming in hot, Chichi. How we doing on this Friday? We got some heat coming in on this Friday, don't we?
A lot of heat, man, and a lot of up in the air confusion. I mean, obviously the big story is Ohtani's interpreter, Mizuhara, gambled somehow, some way, in some form. Like, we're not smart enough to kind of understand how this story's going. So I'm gonna read you real quick what Ken wrote, a couple quotes from Ken Rosenthal, who kind of like went down the line, okay? And then I guess we can go from there.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what Ken has to say.
All right. So Ken, this is in The Athletic today in a great article. He said, Ohtani was far from the only person affected by the scandal to avoid inquiry. After offering contradictory accounts to ESPN early in the week, Mizuhara has not responded to requests for comment. Neither has Nez Balelo.
So Mizuhara is obviously, for the people that don't know this story, is Ohtani's interpreter.
Yeah, and super close friend.
And then his best friend.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. They joked around like in the press conference when they started. It was like bosom buddies. It was like a rom-com. So now Nez Balelo, Ohtani's longtime representative from CAA, Dodgers president Stan Katzen, and president of baseball operations Andrew Friedman, none of them answered questions. MLB officials have declined to weigh in, other than, this is important, to indicate Ohtani is not currently subject to discipline from the league.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. Now here's where it gets confusing. Okay. And this is straight from Ken. I'm just going to read his because he's smarter than me. The two accounts of what happened could not conflict more. The first, as told to ESPN by a spokesperson for Ohtani, as well as by Mizuhara himself, is that the two-time MVP wired the money to cover his friend's gambling debt. The second, as told by Ohtani's attorneys, is that the superstar was the victim of theft. The attorneys did not explain how the theft could have occurred. Once the attorneys entered the picture, the spokesperson and Mizuhara disavowed their initial story. It was like a 90-minute press conference. Mizuhara did a complete reversal, telling ESPN that Ohtani had no knowledge of his gambling debts and that Ohtani had not transferred money to a bookmaking operation. So it's just like, and this is one last thing again, the most logical assumption, Ohtani's attorneys feared the original version could place him in some form of legal jeopardy, which raises another question. Why did the spokesperson for Ohtani allow Mizuhara to talk at all? It's very confusing. And we don't know any of these answers, but
yeah, why would they let him talk without like a lawyer involved, or it's like,
yeah,
obviously they're, what are they when you get arrested? They say, you have a right to an attorney.
Yeah.
Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. Like, I don't know, maybe don't say anything until you get your story right. Just the weird thing is that he said one thing, and then the lawyer came in and said a totally different thing. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I guess the question is, is Ohtani even involved here? Is he, did he know about it? It's just such a tightrope conversation right now.
It is. And we don't want to, again, like you always say, as soon as we saw this, like, hey, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Innocent until proven guilty in this country. That's the bottom line. I mean, obviously, the problem is on social media, you're not. You know what I mean? You're guilty right away, and let's just have fun with it and all that stuff. Not fun, but let's just crush people and all that stuff. So
Uh-huh.
I'm interested to see this whole thing play out. You know, as it looks right now, it looks like Muzahara, you know, got into a gambling debt, a big one, tried to chase his money like everybody does. Here's the deal, bro. I want to throw this out there because, you know, some of the stuff that I work on with my mental performance program and stuff like that, a lot of it's about dopamine, earned dopamine. Like you get in a cold plunge every day, bro, earned dopamine. You're going to get 4 to 6 hours of earned dopamine. Your energy is going to go up 250 to 500%, proven fact, right? You work out, earned dopamine. You get to exercise, you go for a walk, you go for a run, you lift weights, earned dopamine. Now, anything in life sometimes that is a dopamine depleter. Alcohol, dopamine depleter, gets you up, then crashes you down. Smoking weed, porn, anything that's a quick fix. Anything that's a quick fix, Netflix binge watching for 10 hours, anything that's a quick fix, bam, it's a dopamine rush, dopamine depleter. Now listen, here's the thing about gambling, and I want to throw this out there because, it was so incredible to listen to. Andrew Huberman, who's a neuroscientist who studies the brain, said gambling is the most dangerous addiction out there, and here's why. Dopamine is a chemical that's naturally produced in our bodies, right? We're as a matter of fact, we talk about it more than ever now in our society because, you know, we're starting to understand what it does. Now, dopamine is not a pleasure chemical like people think it is. Oh man, you got dopamine. You know, dopamine is a motivation desire chemical, right? So let me explain to you what that means, Chinch.
Go.
When you have a couple pops, you know what I mean, and you know you're going to get a buzz, you know you're getting that buzz. Dopamine goes up. You're looking, more than anything, think about, you're looking for, it's like people at work all week. They're like, man, I can't wait till Friday. Have a couple pops, unwind. That's the dopamine, right? You get a little fixed thinking about it. It's like, oh man, you have a beer, a couple beers, maybe get a little buzz going. Bam, you got, you know, your dopamine is gone now. Now it's just like, oh, that's nice, whatever. Okay. Because you know you're going to get that result. Okay, with gambling, bro, now listen to this. The dopamine, your dopamine centers work differently with like gambling. And this is why. I bet on the Steelers, right? This Sunday, I bet the spread, they're down 3 to the Dolphins. It's a -3. I bet on the Steelers. Now, during the game, right, I'm watching this bet. Now, don't forget, dopamine is a chemical of motivation, desire, right? Not pleasure.
Got it.
So what happens is, I don't know whether they're going to win or lose, dude. So my dopamine goes up like 3 times because it's like, maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I got the bet going. So that's why when you lose, you're like, oh, there's a little bit of a crash. But that's why when you win, you're like, I want to do it again.
Yeah,
I want to do it again.
I've heard from gamblers who say like the rush isn't actually in winning. The rush happens when you lose.
Yeah.
It's terrifying, but I get it. Like you're at a blackjack table. I put a $50 bet on when I normally do a $10 bet, and that 50 happens, and you lose a $50. That experience of going, I just handed somebody $50 for no reason. For like, no, like, it's a terrible feeling.
And well, that's the thing, dude, because it's during the game where you're getting that 3-hour, oh man, this, and you're with your buddies, we go, what about this? Look at this. Oh, he just hit the 3, he tied it, and it's like, oh, but then you lose. You're like, oh, I've sat with buddies that gamble like, oh, dude, something's going to go wrong. I got a 14 parlay. I just need the Cowboys to cover. And then there's a pick 6 with like 2 minutes to go when they're driving. You're like, it's the end of the world. Now, here's the other thing, dude. And I got a buddy of mine that got into, is big in the industry, gambling and stuff like that. And I was, looking into like maybe investing with him a couple years ago. And I'm like, it just didn't feel right to me. But I did go down the rabbit hole of talking to a guy that used to help do the lines in Vegas. So he was a guy, years ago where, we're like, how are these guys getting it so right? I mean, it's right. Don't you think it's incredible how they nail it, right? So anyway, this guy was telling me, he goes, listen, he goes, Case, he goes, when I was doing the lines with a bunch of other guys and putting the spreads together with human beings, we were 90%. You were 90%. We were going to win 85, 90% of the time. We were that good with this. He said, bro, now remember, Chinch, this is a guy that's in the industry that's doing it right now. He's basically, legal gambling overseas, but he's doing the books. He said, Case, he said, now with AI, I couldn't believe this. This blew my mind. He said, with AI doing the points now, he goes, you're 100% gonna lose.
It's amazing.
100%. You might win a couple games, but you're eventually gonna 100% lose.
Anybody who's ever played a DraftKings lineup and done it in baseball,
Right.
will go, and I will tell you this, I know people, former players who know baseball better than life itself, who don't work for the league or anything, so I'll go crazy with that, but who have said to me, like, every night I'll go play a game, a head-to-head contest, and this guy has like the third string catcher in his lineup for a team, and that guy hits 2 home runs, and that's why I lose my bet. And he's like, how did he know? And I'm like, it's all in the machines, dude. I'm telling you, it's very strange how it works.
No.
The best line ever. If you don't bet, you can't lose, right? That's number one. If you don't bet, you can't lose. But sometimes, look, and here's one other thing I want to say too, because like, I'm really upset that we haven't heard from the league yet, but I understand why not. They have to be perfect with this. This is Shohei.
Right. They gotta know the facts.
Diligence. I have no problem with them like not having just jumped out there yet, because that would be wrong.
Because it's the Pete Rose. It's like this is the greatest player. You know,
I got a great quote. This Kimmy Yam of NBC News spoke with this man named Adrian Borges. He's a sports historian and professor at the University of Illinois. Okay, this is a great line that he says. Yesterday was supposed to be the coronation of Ohtani. The MLB, regardless of what the truth ultimately comes out of this story, has this international global superstar associated with the worst sin of baseball. I think that's a very good statement that he made, because Pete Rose, like, that's the thing. It's gambling on baseball. Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but I think the big thing is, did he gamble on? I mean, the big thing is he involved, and is baseball involved? But the problem with Pete was he did actually gamble on baseball and the Reds. I don't think he bet on them to lose, which I love.
Own games,
but hey, Pete, put a couple bucks on
that. I agree.
Red Lakes. This is not that. Yeah,
knock on wood. I'm rooting for this to be over in 2 days, and everybody go back to baseball.
I hope
really.
I hope it's not too. Exactly, dude. And one other thing I want to say about gambling, there's a book called Scarcity Brain, incredible book that I just got finished reading. And in that book, it basically talking about the dopamine centers, but he says, why do you think slot machines are so much bigger now? Why can I go down to 7-Eleven here, Chinch? Not kidding. Right. I go right down the road here, get some gas at the get-go. There's 2 slot machines. And people were always on it. Why? Because listen, whenever you're on those slot machines for a little bit, you put $20 in, they're going to let you win a couple.
Absolutely.
You're going to lose 3 credits, lose 3 credits. Oh boy, you won 4 credits. Lose 2 credits, win 1 credit, lose 2. But before you know it, in 15 minutes, that $20 is 100% gone.
Dude,
but that's the dopamine centers. Right? Of like, oh yeah, that felt good. That felt good. Dude, these people know exactly what they're doing. And we as human beings are like, hey dude, I'm a brilliant. I got a couple buddies that have been gambling for 30 years, and they're both not doing well at all. Right? They're I got a few buddies, and obviously we all probably do. But I did say to one of them recently, I said, dude, you've been gambling for 30 years. Every day. If I did something for dude, I hit a baseball every day since I was 14. I became a big leaguer.
Right.
I actually became a big leaguer. I developed a skill that was incredible, dude. Anything you do every day, you're going to get better. You journal, you write, whatever it is, you're going to get better at. Chinch, you're going to get better. You produce a show every day, you're going to get better.
100%.
So for 30 years, if you did something every day, don't you think you'd be a freaking master? Don't you think?
Yeah, it's crazy.
If I cooked food every day for 30 years, I'd be like, dude, I'm the best chef in the world. Yeah, all right, I'm freaking the guy that does boom or whatever, bam, or, So, dude, I said to him, I go, think about this, Rick. Incredible. You are still struggling in gambling. You're having to it's hit those. I always say, as soon as your brain hits an addiction, it's now a cucumber, not a pickle. Right? It's a pickle, not a cucumber. Once it becomes a pickle, you can never go back to being a cucumber, dude. Once that cucumber gets in that vinegar and spices, it's now a pickle. You can't say, hey, back to a cucumber. As soon as your brain goes down those addictive pathways, you now have to set up boundaries some way to be okay. And that's what I was saying. I was saying to my buddy, dude, 30 years you've been doing something every day. I go, and you lose. So who's Joe Blow, me, that I just come in? I don't know what parlays means, tease this, tag, I would tag that. I don't even understand the language. There's a whole nother language to gambling. But I know everybody that does it, everybody I have that's done it for years, bro, loses. So what are we doing?
True. I can end with one really great Norm Macdonald joke, but it's a fact. And Norm Macdonald was a huge gambler, okay? So
Yeah.
So it's this guy's a gambler and he's talking to his buddy. So I'm a gambler. I'm talking to you and I'm like, man, I really took a bath today, man. I bet on the NBA game. I lost $150. And then I bet on all the college games. I lost $500. And then there was a tennis match and I could have swore this guy was going to win. I lost thousands of dollars. And the other guy goes, well, there's a hockey game tonight. And he goes, I don't know anything about hockey. Right? That's it. That's gambling.
True.
That's gambling. Maybe
I don't know anything about hockey. You obviously don't know anything about baseball, football, anything else because you lose. You lose.
Brilliant.
And like that guy said, who was in this industry for 40 years, bro, who set 100 people. Listen up. If you're gambling out there, just want to let you know. I know you went to your job, you worked your butt up. You gamble, 100% you're eventually going to lose. 100.
Yeah. It's good.
I know I would throw up on myself if I'm giving people my money, my hard-earned money.
I know. I feel it. It's tough, man.
And I love what, yeah, it's great. So anyway, that's a whole nother side note, but that's the deal, dude. Like, when you hear his interpreter say, I got a gambling addiction, I get it. Like we all are addicted to something. That's the bottom line, whether it's gossip or whether it's being the victim, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be like a substance or money or something like that. But at the end of the day, we just have to know how our brains work and how the centers work. And as soon as you go down those roads, your brain now becomes a pickle. It'll never go back. So now you've got to really set up boundaries to get yourself back to a good place. That's not easy to do.
It's not. So fans, if you want to be addicted to something, be addicted to liking and subscribing. The Sean Casey Show, everywhere you get your podcasts and on our
yes,
correct?
Please become addicted to watching the mayor's office. It's the best show out there.
Yeah. So this is a big story. There's a lot of other stuff that we can start talking about next week, which is great, including the JD Martinez signing with the Mets.
Yeah, JD Martinez to the Mets, huge.
And we're getting.
What about the Padres? Game 2, bro, came out banging against the Dodgers, 115-11.
Yeah, the Dodgers' big money pitcher got banged around 5 earnings in 1 inning, right?
Yeah, Yamamoto went 1 inning, 5 runs. Really, I'm saying he's going to be okay, but I'm saying when I look at his fastball, it's flat. It's flat. It's flat. So like, you could have other pitches, but everything works off the heater. So if your heater, your cutter is not really working, you're in this league.
Yeah,
you're gonna get hammered.
We had Doc on yesterday, and he goes, they keep telling everybody to throw harder. Everybody can hit a fastball,
Exactly. And he's throwing like 95, 96. Like, and dude, one thing he does is there's no real deception, I think. Right. There's no real leg kick, no hiding the ball. He doesn't even leg kick, dude. He just comes right downhill and throws it.
Yeah, that's when David Price got into a little trouble for that time because he was just sitting there. It's like it's a pitching machine for you guys at that point.
Right. There's some when guys are like this and they're coming. There's a guy might throw 88, 90 miles an hour, and you're like, how did I miss that? Well, there's a little deception on the delivery, a little deception on the way the ball comes out. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So.
All right.
And dude, Yamamoto and these guys, this game's a game of adjustments. If you remember in life, failure's feedback and it's information. So at the end of the day, he's going to come in the next start and say, what do I need to do differently? Back to the drawing board.
Nice. All right, brother.
Okay, brother. Have a great weekend, dude. I'm heading up to Kent State today. They got a game this afternoon. Looking forward to that. Maybe Jake will get into one. Here we go.
And 495 feet, folks. I'll be the one to say that.
Dude, he hit a ball at Pitt the other day, 491 on the track, man. It was incredible.
All right.
112, 491. Let's go. Hey, Jake. What are you doing this weekend, bro? Real quick.
Nothing.
Besides Macy, how's Macy doing?
She's doing better.
She's downstairs.
Macy. She can't be licking that though. Hey,
Mace, get off that wound.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta get her going now. So,
Okay. Okay, go.
all right. I love you,
All
brother.
right, have a great weekend, dude. Love you too, man. See you,
All right.
brother. I'll see you Monday.
See ya.